Psalm 13, From Despair to Trust in God's Mercy. Psalm 13 is a deeply personal lament that traces a spiritual journey from distress and perceived abandonment to renewed trust and praise. In just a few verses, it captures the inner movement of faith under pressure, showing how sincere prayer can hold both anguish and confidence at the same time. The psalm begins with a piercing cry, "How long, O Lord? Will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me?" The repetition of "how long" 4 times intensifies the sense of prolonged suffering. David feels as though God is distant, inattentive, or even absent from his situation. Alongside this spiritual anguish is emotional exhaustion and external pressure from adversaries, creating a sense of being surrounded with no relief in sight. Yet this opening is not a rejection of God. Rather, it reflects a faith that is willing to speak honestly in the midst of confusion and pain. The psalm demonstrates that prayer can include questions, sorrow, and even the feeling of divine silence without losing its connection to God. From lament, David moves into petition, "Consider and hear me, O Lord my God, enlighten my eyes." This shift shows that despair does not lead him away from God but toward him. He asks for divine attention, renewal, and clarity, language that suggests a need for restored strength and hope. The fear of death and of enemies prevailing adds urgency to his plea. Even in distress, the direction of his response is important. He turns toward God as the only source of deliverance and restoration. The turning point of the psalm comes with a striking contrast, "But I have trusted in your mercy, my heart shall rejoice in your salvation." The word "but" marks a decisive shift from despair to confidence. Instead of remaining anchored in circumstances, David anchors himself in God's steadfast love. This love is not fleeting or uncertain but enduring and reliable. His declaration of joy is especially significant because it is expressed before any visible change in his situation. Trust here is grounded not in emotional stability or external resolution but in the nature of God himself. The psalm concludes with a commitment to worship. "I will sing to the Lord, because he has dealt bountifully with me." This final verse reveals a choice of praise that flows from faith rather than circumstance. David anticipates God's goodness as certain, even if not yet fully experienced in the moment. Worship becomes an expression of trust, rooted in the conviction that God's past faithfulness and covenant love guarantee his continued care. Taken as a whole, Psalm 13 presents a complete arc of spiritual experience: honest lament, urgent prayer, deliberate trust, and confident praise. It affirms that faith is not the absence of struggle but the decision to remain directed toward God within it. Even when God feels distant, the psalm insists that his steadfast love remains the foundation for hope, and that this hope can mature into praise even before deliverance is seen.
Psalm 13, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and hear me, O Lord my God. Enlighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemy say, I have prevailed against him, lest those who trouble me rejoice when I am moved. But I have trusted in your mercy. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me.